In 2020, everyone had their eyes on GameStop. Everyone thought they were one trade away from changing their life. But somehow, instead of finding the next big investment, I ended up joining a pyramid scheme and booking a flight to Miami. This is one of the strangest situations I've ever been in. This is the Hamilton Archive. A few years ago, I was living with two of my buddies. We'd had known each other since high school, and they were good dudes. We worked our regular jobs, we played games at night, but weekends were our thing. We used to have people over almost every Friday and Saturday, just a rotating group of friends. The place became known as that spot that you could show up and always find something happening. One weekend, I invited a guy I hadn't seen in a few years. We had been close back in the day, and we went to middle school together, but then life happened and we lost touch. We had recently reconnected and figured, why not? Why don't you come to the party? He shows up and we're catching up on the balcony. We're drinking and talking about nothing and everything. And I remember something about this guy. His parents were smart with money. Back when Netflix was still mailing DVDs in those red envelopes, before streaming was even a thing, they invested. So I asked him, hey, how's that Netflix thing going? He smiles and says it's going really, really well. And that gets us talking about things like money, investing, trading. I had been looking at Bitcoin at the time, trying to understand how it worked. And this was right after GameStop started its big run when the whole world suddenly became obsessed with the stock market. So we're out there on the balcony, drinks in hand, having a conversation about money and markets and what the future looks like. And then someone else walks out. It's another guy from the party, someone I knew but not super well, and he overhears us talking and asks us if we've ever heard of something called forex. He starts trying to explain it, and it's confusing at first and kind of hard to follow, but he's excited about it, which made me want to listen more. Then he says that his cousin's the one who is really into it. He knows way more than him and asks if we want to call his cousin. We're curious, we're drunk, we say sure. So we go back inside and grab our phones and get on a call with his cousin. The cousin picks up and starts walking us through it. He tells us about this academy he joined where they teach you how to trade forex, everything you need to know from absolute beginner to consistent trader. He makes it sound possible, like this is a real skill you can learn, like coding or welding, except the payoff is financial freedom. Then he says he's gonna get his boss on the line, the person who got him into it. So we do a group FaceTime and a woman joins. She's polished and professional. She explains everything in a way that actually makes sense. She walks us through the platform, the training modules, the community aspect. She tells us they have trading systems that the industry doesn't even know about. We're slightly drunk at this point and everything sounds good. Everything sounds exciting. The music's playing, people are laughing in the other room, and we're on this call feeling like we just discovered something. She asks us if we wanted to join and we look at each other and say, let's do it. So we joined. The next day, my buddy comes over and we're both sober by now, but we're still excited. We log into the academy and start diving into the actual material. Hours of videos, there's modules, and we're learning about the market. I got deep into it, like honestly embarrassingly deep. I'd wake up and immediately start watching tutorials. I'd take notes like I was back in college. And at one point, I even made my own tutorial video explaining how the forex market works. We started paper trading with fake money, real market conditions, just practicing. And honestly, we were doing pretty well. We were good enough that we started thinking, okay, maybe this is real and something that we're actually good at. The people above us in the organization, the ones who recruited us, started paying attention to our trades. They were giving us feedback and telling us that we were doing really good. Then someone in the group chat said, you guys should come out to Miami and meet the team. Others chime in saying that they're going to get a penthouse and that we can meet the people who are doing this full time. Miami, the sun, beach, a penthouse, trading with people who've been doing it for years, making real money, living the dream. It felt like a no-brainer. Like who says no to that? We were young, we were excited, and we started to see results in our trading. We thought this was the only next step. So we say yes, we book our flights for the next week. Leading up to the trip, we're in constant contact with the people that we're meeting. They're hyping us up, telling us about the things that we're going to do, the people we're going to meet. So we're counting down the days. The day finally comes, we pack our bags, just enough clothes for a long weekend, plus our laptops. We're excited and thought this is the beginning of something. We stopped at the bar in the airport before our flight, even though it's like 9 a.m. because we thought this trip was about to be awesome. We grab a drink, we toast to the adventure ahead, and board the plane. When we land, we walk out of the airport in the Miami heat, and it hits you immediately. It's that warm, humid air. We pull out our phones and text our guy that we're here. He texts back and says that he's running behind and that he won't be there until later today. All right, no big deal. You know, things happen. We'll just wait. So we Uber to a gas station near a hotel. We change our clothes, charge our phones, wait by the pool. A few hours go by and we text again, hey, what's the update? So it's still going to be a few hours. So we say, all right, let's just go to the beach. So we Uber to the beach and find a spot in the sand. And after a few hours, it's going pretty good. The sun's out, the water's warm, people are laughing and playing music. I mean, we're in Miami on the beach with nothing to do but wait. We grab lunch at this random Asian spot near the water, and it's nothing fancy, but it does hit the spot. And by the time we're done, we realize that we spent almost the whole day just on the beach with our luggage waiting. Around 8 p.m., we reach out again and say, hey, what's going on? We've been here all day. He texts back saying that he might not get there until tomorrow morning. He says to get a hotel and he'll hit us up in the morning. So we find a hotel on the beach. It's a nice little place. It's nothing crazy, but it's clean and comfortable with a nice view. We check in and drop our bags and say, all right, well, we're in Miami. We've got a hotel on the beach. Let's just make the most of it. So we got dressed up in button downs, nice shoes, and head out to find a bar. We find this place with live music and unlimited margs, so we do what you would do obviously and drink as many as you could. Stumble back to the hotel, we pass out, We wake up around 9 a.m. feeling slightly regretful, but still excited. We text our guy in the morning, hey, what's the plan? He texts back that he's on his way soon and he'll be there later today. We said, all right, well, I guess we're gonna wait another day. This was around football season, so we found an Irish bar and basically watched football all day. Played pool, we watched the games, we ordered food, and finally around 8 or 9 in the day, we get a text to come to this address. We grab our stuff, we settle our tab, and we Uber to the location. It's about an hour outside of Miami, and the drive takes forever. We're leaving the touristy areas and we're going past neighborhoods that get rougher the further we go. When we get there, it's an apartment complex. It's run down and bars on the windows, but we figure that this is just where we're meeting them. The penthouse is tomorrow, and this is just a staging area. We walk up, there's people outside the door on their phones, trading, and we thought it was pretty cool, to be honest. We walk in and there's about 20 people inside. Some are on their phones, some are on their laptops looking at charts, some just hanging out. At first, it felt kind of cool, like this is the underground. We were young and dumb enough to think that maybe this was normal, that successful traders just hung out in rundown apartments, grinding and building something from nothing. Our guy finally shows up and we're like, let's go, like the trip is finally gonna start. He introduced us to people that we'd only talked to online, so it was nice to put faces to names. We also realized that there's this whole other team from the IM Academy there as well. So we had 2 teams all in one apartment. We stay up late, trading, talking, planning, someone orders food, the night all blurs together. We go to bed around 5 a.m. I wake up around 9, just a few hours of sleep. We get ready, we grab our stuff, head into downtown Miami with a few people from the group. We knew that we weren't going to the penthouse that we were staying at, but we were going to a place to hang out and work for the day. I'm in the backseat with 2 guys, and one of them turns to me and asks, hey, do you know anything about gun laws in Florida? I say no, and I don't really think of it much at the time. It was just a random question, and people talk about weird stuff on road trips all the time. Later, I think about that moment a lot. We get to the high rise in downtown Miami, and we go up to the common area. We hang out there for a while, we take photos, we walk around. Then more IM Academy people started to show up. I mean, there were dozens of them. They're all on their phones, but they're not trading, they're calling people. They're recruiting, trying to get people to join under them. And this is kind of where something started to feel off. No one was trading. Me and my buddy were the only ones looking at charts. Everyone else was just selling on the phones. We started to look at each other and think, is this normal? Someone comes up to us and tells us that there's an Indian reality show filming. We spend most of the day there, and eventually we all go outside for some motivational speaking. Someone stands up on a chair and starts talking about success, about grinding and never giving up. And then while we were out there, the building staff comes out and tells us that we need to leave. Now, apparently we weren't supposed to be there. So we pack up and leave, we go back to the apartment. And when we get back to the sketchy apartment, we settle in, we start trading again, and then we hear yelling. One of the guys from our group, the same one who asked about gun laws, is freaking out. He's pacing back and forth. His laptop is gone. It was stolen. He's furious. He says to the group that the laptop better be back here tomorrow morning or else. And he doesn't really specify what or else means, but I don't really think he has to. The room goes quiet and everyone looks at each other and no one says anything. We all leave shortly after and get a hotel for the night. We figure we'll finally go to the actual penthouse tomorrow. At the hotel, the conversation shifted. The guys are talking in low voices, huddled in the corner, discussing what they'll do tomorrow if the laptop isn't there, how they'll handle it, and who's gonna do what. My buddy and I look at each other with the same thought, that we need to leave. We start overthinking, like what if they expect us to be a part of it? What if things get ugly and we're stuck in the middle? What if someone gets shot and we're there? We decide, screw it, we're out, let's leave. So we book flights for the next morning. It was the earliest we could get, around like 6 a.m. First thing in the morning, before anyone can go back to the apartment, we tell them that we're leaving. They look confused but don't push it, so they drop us off at the airport. We get on a plane and we don't look back. We never found out what happened, whether that laptop came back, whether shots were fired, or whether that guy followed through. We blocked everyone from the academy, we dropped the subscription, and never spoke to any of them again. We did keep trading though, just on our own terms without the pyramid scheme attached. And every time I hear someone talking about trading academies or mentors in Miami, I think about that apartment, the stolen laptop, the feeling that something was about to pop off. Looking back, there were so many signs: the waiting, the sketchy apartment, the fact that no one was actually trading. But when you're in it, you don't see it. You see the possibility, the potential, the what if this works out. It didn't work out, but we walked away. And that's the part that matters. Thanks for watching.